You know they can get away with it because
Exactly.
nobody gonna copy on the hills anyhow.
No,
So
no.
you chop something real quick, take some 2x4, chop something, put a roof on it, and pay me $500 rent every
So
month.
how can we talk about a balanced budget when we have so much of deficiencies within our community? How can we talk about balancing our budget when the most important department, which is the tax department, that is underfed, undermanned, under resources, and you talk about a balanced budget? I rather live in a deficit and ensure that every month I put in an extra there to ensure that we can have certain sort of economic development and a rollover of such, than to boast and brag that we balance the budget, but yet it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day for the economic development of the people of St. Martin.
Right. And
that's where we need to look at.
Exactly. In addition to finding, and not only finding, but finding these land owners, what are some of the other improvements that we're looking at here where the environment is concerned? Well,
there are two areas that I think that if we look at biodiversity on the island, that is being tainted on a constant basis with regards to environmental aspects that are not being lived up to or not being followed up to by government and third parties. That is our Simsimi Lagoon in the area of the Tropicana Casino.
Okay.
It's really bad. It's really bad. That is festering a lot of disease.
Right there.
That's really bad. And also, if we look at our fresh pond and gray salt pond, I think that we could do a lot more there. And it has to have.
Is there still salt in that pond?
Well, it's salty.
It's salty, okay.
I taste it, but it's salty.
It's salty,
you know, the fact that we used to have the midges, remember?
Right. I forgot about those midges. But you know, have you ever taken a drive or gone, you know, with it on the Illich Road there, and where the pond actually backs up there?
Yeah.
You've taken.
I've walked that area.
Have you seen what it looks like? I've seen
what it looks like, and it's horrible. Not only is a dumping site for all types of things.
Yeah, but the septic runs everything right into the pond.
It's amazing how people treat this great nation. But not only the people living in this great nation at time, that how can you dare pump and do that there, knowing that this will affect your children further. But it's amazing that if we know this, Miss Grace, and we are the people, how come those in charge who are responsible for this don't know this? How come they can't come with a plan? How come? We start to ask ourselves, how come? But there was a plan to pump fresh seawater, and I'm saying it on your show today, Saturday, the 17th of February. There was a plan to pump seawater from the Great Bay Hotel Channel straight through the Great Salt Pond, alongside the long wall, crossing over by the sports auditorium, because the pipes are placed there. That would flush our Great Salt Pond and make it blow again. How come, Miss Grace? How come the piping that the honorable MPs are talking about in Parliament when they call government to Parliament about the landfill, the pipes that was placed there to pump out water from behind of the dump area where the public works is, towards the Rolandus Canal? How come that project ain't finished? What happened to the pumps that were put in place to irrigate and infiltrate the sanitary landfill to out the fires? Where are these pumps? How come nobody's asking now? This is not something that happened from the past government. This is not something that happened to the past government. This is not something from the past government, because that's the 3 elections that we had.
Okay.
This is something that has been there for quite a while, and various ministers of various governing accords and various associations have been part of that. So all is to blame, Miss Grace. How come?
All of this, in a sense, contributes to the unhealthy situation that we have created here on the island. So it's not just only the dump.
No. It's like an atom.
Because some people might say, oh yeah, but you know, I get to say from the pond, the smoke, and you know, every time the dump,
it's about everything, Miss Grace.
It's everything.
It's failures. It's failures on various levels, various degrees, and it's also failure to understand your role. And I'm going to look, this is going to be hard to hear from maybe the listeners. I'm going to look at the people of St. Martin. Stop complaining about it on social media and come out. When we talk about demonstrating our rights, come out. It has to be peaceful, but you need to show your colors. You need to show it's not nothing to do with politics. You need to show who you're for. You need to show that you love St. Martin. Oh, sweet St. Martin land. We do not accept these things. Stop, get out away from your computer and come out and tell your government,
step out of your comfort zone.
Stop it.
Yeah. Step out of the comfort zone, which is very difficult for a lot of people to do because, you know, it's easy. It's easy, like you said, with social media. It's easy to complain and say everything and anything you want. But when it comes to facing, being confronted with reality, it's something totally different. Things that you say on social media, you know, you can't step out of that box and say it to the person or the individual, or, you know, even come on radio or call in a program and have, well, calling in that too, they can't hiding behind a device. But
you know, everyone should use their method of expressing itself. I'm not saying that saying it on social media is bad or whatever, but I don't want to see it only on social media. And when things are being called forward for people to show their strength in numbers, you could only find the same 5, the same 10, the same 25 or whatever. So these are the things that and mind you that a lot of times the people that we consider not from here, which I don't use those words because, you know, my father's from Curacao, right? And he moved from here than a lot of people who from here because he dedicated himself to building the economy and also contributing back to St. Martin that he calls Oh Sweet St. Martin land. You know, Miss Grace, you always talk about Dushi Aruba, you know? So we have a lot of St. Martiners that came from various other nations.
But my grandmother was from Sucker Garden.
You know, and exactly. So we need to start improving our quality of life. Every individual here in St. Martin has that responsibility to take up to improve the quality of life. Clean your backyard to ensure that you could then say, but neighbor, you need to clean yours too.
Yeah.
And we need to look at also our leaders and say, listen, no, whether or not if I am supporting your political association, you need to clean house. And you need to stop and do away. If you do not, I am not supporting you anymore. So let's stop complaining about things. Let's start making true change in the right, positive direction.
And not only that, too, Mr. Ortega, but a lot of times, and I'm going to use the dump as an example again, a lot of times we complain about issues that are occurring and then and there. Everybody, when the dump is on fire, everybody, including me, all of us, we complain about it because the focus now turns. We were focused on what's happening, the smoke and everything, and you get paranoid or you get nervous whenever you see there's a little smoke that is going to light up again and there's going to be fires again. And then when you cover it, you throw sand on it, and
smoke gone away.
Smoke. Okay, we
concern
gone.
That is not the case. That is really not the case, and that's where we need to step away from, because if we don't structurally handle these things, and I guess.
We're going to continue seeing fires.
So we need to structurally handle it. We should not be talking about the waste of energy at this present moment, Ms. Grace, if we have not solved the issues that are at hand.
You suggested an incinerator, actually.
Yes, incinerator, infiltration, security, fencing and everything around the property, a better separation of waste material coming in, and also, most importantly, after you have cleaned up certain areas, because the landfill, go on the top of Guanabil Hill and look down and you realize how big the landfill is. There's enough land to start putting solar energy. There's enough to even, you could create a whole solar park. You could. I saw somewhere online, this is really radical, and I'm speaking to also some architects here on the island, local architects here on the island from St. Martin, and they're talking about a flamboyant park. Where you know, it was even published by Mr. Richardson, right? And Flamboyant Park.
The artist, Mr. Roland Richardson.
No, Mr. Delano.
Delano.
Yes, Richardson. Okay. As our local architect who has the knowledge about this, and it was all in the papers. So create a venue that not only the locals could come and enjoy, but we could have cycle parks, but also our tourists guests would come and say, wow, St. Martin has this. It's become a attraction. So then you could use you could generate energy, and at the same time you could create an attraction. But you could only do that when you solve the issues at hand. It is good and great to talk about future development, but if you're still stumbling over the same rock at the same time, right, you will never get to the place where you need to go.
Right, exactly. You launched your district improvement plan sometime ago last week, right?
Yes, we did.
How was that?
It was great. I mean, we put it out on social media. I made a small little video, you know, very unprofessional, but we are still proud of these things because, you know, we're working with the little means that we have. But I think a lot of people got the concept of this district improvement plan. When we talk about district improvements, especially economic development within the district, too many times we see that that the districts are left behind. You see development happening within Phillipsburg area, within the Simpson Bay area, Mahu area, but the districts are, for me, one of the most important. Remember, Ms. Grace, we have 5 to 6 months of a one-pillar economy, which is tourism. And after the tourists are gone, we call the low season. Guess who keeps everything running good, smooth, and nice? The people of St. Martin. So wouldn't it be most important for the same people of St. Martin to increase their spending ability? By doing that, you will increase the possibility for them to sell their own provisions, to have more of a Lolo type development within the districts, the village type development. So these are things that you create venues for them. Arts and craft. St. Martin people are very, very artsy. Yeah. There's a gentleman on Arch Road.
Art in the park also.
Yeah, they had it some time ago in Emilia Wilson Park. Man. So there's a gentleman in Arch Road, and I drive there just after the bend, and I see all these things that this gentleman is producing. You know, it's either cut out or he pouring them out of concrete or whatever have you. But it's extremely amazing to see an old man sitting on there carving this and everything. So imagine he has an outlet where he could go to and have a stand to sell this. You're going to get people, not only local people, but also tourists buying this. Maybe put it in your yard as a little market and so on, little eagles. So this is something I think we should start stimulating. The young man that I also filmed that has no affiliation with SDM, but I just love what he was doing, the aquaponics. And he's showing me all these types of herbs that he's growing from little shoots, and it's different types of mints and bush teas and whatever. That's a business. I mean, he was doing it, no man, I'm just doing it for my own, you know, and not really for sale or whatever. But imagine he was stimulated with a micro development plan. Imagine he was in this district that was able to come to a location and sell his mints and so. Then you get all the restaurants coming to this gentleman. So these are things that we should start thinking about. We don't have to import everything. Fisheries, the red snappers, the mahis, and so forth. Why we only have one fish market? We should have a fish market in the lower down street area in town. We should have a fish market.
Maybe we won't have to always drive down to Simpson.
Exactly. We could have a fish market close to the Belvedere border point, because many people leave from French Quarter areas. St. Martiners leave to go fish in that area, so they'll be able to sell on the venues and so. Once we are able to regulate everything properly and ensure that the health issues or whatever can come by having these markets are taken up into consideration, it is feasible. And guess what? These things, what all I'm mentioning, are feasible within months of office. Within months. All you need is dedication. All you need is dedication, Ms. Grace.
Have you seen any improvements in any of the districts post Hurricane Irma so far?
I've seen a lot of improvements happening, although I think that it could go a lot faster in some segments. However, I am seeing it again. But these are the things that I say that the people self within the districts, those are the ones that have and showing the pride. Because we know for a fact that government can't do everything for us. We should not expect government to do everything for us. What we should expect that government to strengthen the communities, that in the event that we have these type of catastrophes, that the communities are strong enough to pull together and do what they need to do. We need to take the plan of the White Cross, the White and Yellow Cross and the Red Cross, and say, that's an example of how it should be. Create a pool of contractors. Mind you, I said that a couple of times when I was here on your program. I said it on also other programs, and I said it even before. And now I'm happy to see that government was also taking that initiative further. So create that pool of contractors, engineers, or whatever have you. Create a fund for the materials, and also do investigation who really can't pay, who are suffering. But those that can pay but don't have the means right now, you give them soft loans or whatever. So these are all things that I want to see more in the communities. I don't want to hear it on a larger scale and we're going to Brussels and those kind of things. what are you doing for me now going forward? How are you spending my tax money going forward? How are you going to implement rules and regulations and laws and policies that will improve my quality of life directly, immediately? That's what we need to see.
Yeah. What do you plan on doing as a leader of the party if you are elected into Parliament? What is the first thing that you will tackle once elected into Parliament?
When I say this, people ask me, like, you good in your head? But take all the manifestos. Take all of the manifestos. And I will hire someone, or we have someone in our cabinet to do so. We'll take all of the manifestos and we will find all of the similarities of the manifestos, and we will put the motions forward that represent those similarities. Because if that's the case, if you're going to campaign on the dump, if you're going to campaign on this, if you're going to campaign on that, if you campaign on all those things, and you place that in your manifesto, whether cryptic or not, then you should have no issue as a collective body, all 15 members, to sign off. Indeed, this is what we signed up for. This is what we campaigned for, and this is what we were mandated for by the people. So therefore, put that forward. So within the first 6 months, a few months of sitting office within Parliament, we will make that investigation, and we will put all of those laws and motions forward that are taken up into the manifestos, that are saying that they are similar to each other, and let's make it work.
Do you think that the people will get it right this time, Mr. Ortega?
I think we have no choice, Miss Grace. And I don't want to sound cocky, but when we go there, the amount of people that are saying no more, then okay, then the chances are great there will be a paradigm shift. And that's, again, knowing your political history, because it happened before. It happened before when the old were changed out from new fresh blood. When new parties came, you had the PDP, you had PPA in her form, you had different things coming out. So again, I think that we have to be focused on what we are looking at right now and say, listen, enough is enough. We need to pass on a battalion. We need to pass on to fresh, energetic professionals that are going to bring the country forward. And I'm not saying you have to do away with all of those old heads that were there and the Johnny-come-latelys, although I'm not that young. But again, your role must change as political advisor. You must also add value, but you must give opportunity for those that are fresh and have good, fresh ideas to bring that forward and bring this great nation further. You
brought this book with you. You know your political history. Why is it so important to you?
Because it's written by two gentlemen, you know, and regardless to their political, at least one's political affiliation, it represents who we are as St. Martin. I think that we are extremely a diverse nation, not in color and so forth, but in background. But we love this place we call Oh Sweet St. Martin, and I wanna feel when this book was written, because when I read it, and although it's extremely political, but when I read it, I feel the passion it was written with for Oh Sweet St. Martin. And it was written by the Lynch brothers, the later Lynch and Julian Lynch. You know, and it was written, I read the passion, and I'm missing the passion in politics, Miss Grace. I am missing the dedication that Vance James had for St. Martin. Yeah. I'm missing the passion that Elaine Flan had with St. Martin. I'm missing the passion that Joe Richardson used to talk about when he slammed on a table for St. Martin. I am missing the passion with Dr. Claude Watty. And he said, my people of St. Martin, you used to crumble and feel it in your bones. But now when the leaders there talk, you say, another chant again. Another song they're going to sing. Another tune they're going to sing. And you know, we joke about it with even with my song, the Captain song, and these different songs coming out. And that's where we have come to. We come to more like a political rally songs and everything. But understand why I chose that song as well, because I really feel Oh Sweet St. Martin is sinking. And you know, I am still proud of this great nation, whether Dutch side or French side. Well, you came back home. You know, and this is what my fathers and my mothers brought us to do, to go study or seek education, whether it's locally or abroad, right? And come back and build and help build your resilient nation. And I'm missing it by all type of nepotism, all type of corruption cases, all type of things that are slapping us in our face, that saying we are not Oh Sweet St. Martin anymore. And that needs to change. And so with the passion that I read this book, is the passion what I sit and I speak to people on a daily basis. Even now, Miss Gracie, you can feel it and you
I can hear it. I can sense it in your voice.
If I'm not elected, I just want those that are elected to bring more passion to government, bring more passion to the chair of parliament, because it is a state that is representing the people. Stop grandstanding and talking about your neighbors and throwing slander words and looking like you want to fight in your palabras, in your words.
In your words, right.
And just say, keep it short, sweet, simple, direct, and measurable. This is what I came to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is how you're going to hold me accountable for doing so. And I really need to see that. I need the people of St. Martin to understand that that is what we are about. Neighbors, friendly island.
And hold our politicians accountable too.
Correct.
One of the things that I wanted to mention is, and that you keep hearing, well, the talk out there, of course, with the arrest of the leader of the USP party.
Yeah.
And people keep talking about, well, that's what people are talking about because it's right up in your face and it happens to one of our very own. But I just want to remind people about this. As much as some of you might think it's funny, some of you people might be rejoicing, yeah, but the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, and I hate to use that word, it's St. Martin.
Yeah.
And anytime something happens to whether it's one of our government officials or anybody for that matter,
it hurts us.
It hurts us. It is St. Martin. It is not the individual, but it is St. Martin.
Correct.
You know? And so I really want to make that clear. So because you keep hearing people talking and then, I'm not part of the conversation, but still, I just want to say this to St. Martin, that what happened to the leader of the USP party has happened to St. Martin. It has happened to us. Because when they talk about it, when it makes in the national news, they say St. Martin.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, I'm going out on a limb here because I know him. I know him very well. And I know that at times he could be very passionate about it. I don't always agree with him, clearly. But, I know that he has a beautiful wife. I know that he has children. And it hurts all the way, So my prayers go out to them as well. And out of solidarity, even put on a blue shirt yesterday.
Wow.
And I'm not saying this for political mileage, so let me scrap that. But I really think that we should stop the melee. Somebody is always innocent until proven guilty.
Rally around,
I hope that the status quo within the justice system also will change, and that people will get a fair chance, because at times we don't always get a fair chance and a fair opportunity to present ourselves. So keeping that in mind, I'm hoping and I'm praying that everything turns out well and that justice will lead its course. And I can leave it as that. But again, when two dogs are fighting for a bone, the third one's going to come and take it away. And we need to know when we are putting our things out there and bashing our people, that we are bashing St. Martin first and foremost.
Definitely.
As you know, Miss Grace, I try to stay away from calling people names. The only name I want to call is my name. They call him Benjamin.
Yeah, right.
So again, we need to look at the facts, and we need to really understand that the only way we're going to bring the country, this great nation, forward progressively is by working together, unified and not segregated.
Exactly. And what used to be looked at as helping people during an election no more, that doesn't exist anymore. You cannot help anybody
That's gotten
anymore.
out the hand. But people don't accept it. Don't do it. You have more.
There are consequences to that. It was something that politicians did a long time ago, and then you sort of passed it on from generation to generation. Somebody probably needed a fridge, a stove, or something like that.
Jollification becomes a business. Jollification became a business. And again, Ms. Grace, I think there's enough scenarios, enough examples out there as to why we need to change. Everyone should know how they will choose to change. Whether it's going out on February 26th and saying, I'm going different now, because we need new leadership. We need new progressive approaches. We need innovative ideas, innovative thinkers. Yes, we also need the existing establishments to guide certain processes there, because they have the knowledge in certain things. But do not tell me that a person as myself, 43 years old, that have worked, whether for government or in government for the last 15, 20 years, that I don't know how to run government. Don't tell me that, because that's you're disrespecting my parents, because they gave me the opportunity to go and study, and they're disrespecting me that came back home to work for my great nation, oh sweet St. Martin land. So again, I would like the people of St. Martin to come out. I'd like to mention one thing, Ms. Grace.
Sure, go ahead.
On the 24th of February, you know, we don't do the big parties.
That's next Saturday.
That's next Saturday. We are trying to organize a family fun day at Emily Wilson Park from 12 until 6 or 6:30 p.m. And I would like everyone to come out, you know, show your colors, whether if it's green, blue, yellow, but especially I would love to see the grays. But come and bring the children and enjoy what we used to call Oh Sweet St. Martin land. I will try my best together with my team to bring something forward that has brass band, steel pan, bouncy castles, popcorn for the children and for the family. We are missing the family in St. Martin. And yes, it's political times. Yes, I have to get the opportunity to show my political ideas and my political ideologies forward. But at first and foremost, I need to pull us together in unity. French side, Dutch side, all side. We are one St. Martin. Do what you need to do to improve your quality of life. And I'm telling you, SDM Benjamin Ortega, we are fighting for that.
You are the on the ballot. You are you're the #1 candidate on your slate, but on the ballot, which party? Which number does your party have? #1.
On the ballot, we are #2. We are between.
#2. Look at you.
Yeah, it's coincidental,
Really?
Because on one hand you have the black party, and on the other hand you have the white party. Now,
you put the colors together, you turn gray.
You know, it's never black, it's never white, it's always a little bit gray.
Gray in between. But if you take black and white, you mix it together, you get gray.
You get gray.
Look at you.
Get gray. We're right in between.
So the #2 party on the ballot, your candidates are
My candidates, myself, Benjamin Ortega is #1 on the slate. They have #2, Mr. Arthur Butte. We have #3, Mr. Raymond Matzer, and we have #4, a special gentleman, Mr. James Raleigh Busby, because a lot of people know him as Raleigh as a swimming teacher.
Right.
And we have a newcomer to the whole political scene, just like how I was last year. That's Mr. Elvis Lewis, who's #5 candidate, a strong, factual individual, and come out and hear us speak.
I saw that at the debate the other day.
He's going to surprise and shock a lot of people this election.
Yeah, I believe so.
Come out and hear us tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Cultural Center. We'll be launching our manifesto, but we're doing it in an interactive way that the people who are there, whichever party, but hopefully they could represent us, that could ask questions to give more insight to our plans and ideas and ideology to bringing this great nation forward.
That's 7 to 10 p.m. at the Cultural Center?
Yes, in Back Street. That's correct.
On Back Street. And then next Saturday you have a Family Fun Day?
Family Fun Day.
What time does that start?
From 12 to 6 p.m.
From 12 noon to 6 p.m.
Yes.
All right, campaign mode is kicking in as we approach the 26th day of February, which is Election Day. My guest this afternoon is none other again. He's the leader of the SDM party, Mr. Benjamin, affectionately known as Benny Ortega.
a lot of names.
Yeah, a lot of names. You can't miss him. Again, he's on the gray slate at #2 on the ballot, and he's the #1 candidate on his slate, on his list. So, Mr. Ortega, once again, I want to thank you so much for coming in and wishing you much success when the election day comes around on February 26th.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. Thank you to the radio listeners, and do come out and vote, everyone. Vote great and vote for progress.
Awesome. I'll take